another day. Fuck, I'm muted. Oh my fucking god. I had this whole talk. Oh, okay, let me re-summarize. Let me re-summarize what I said. Well, Hayoung seems to be more interested in Dokja than Junghyuk. That's a quick summary. Also, so that Dokja will the reason why Hayoung will come, why Hayoung will come with him to Earth. Dokja declared himself the revolutionary. It seems like the nobles have the executioner thing, and everybody else has the revolutionary thing. Also, I was talking about if Hayoung can be considered Dokja's kid, because Hayoung technically is like the brainchild of Dokja, because he basically gave the author of Twissa this entire idea about Hayoung slash Aslan as a character. And so Dokja is at least somewhat of a parent to that idea, somewhat of a parent to that person, and if you can get it like that. Also, I figured out my country got no daylight saving, so everything else is 1 hour later than mine. Crazy. But yeah, hello Dad, hello Eileen. That was the first for me that I made such a stupid mistake. Oh man, that means the early part is literally muted. Some talk parts of me, I don't think it was anything too important. If not, it's just lost media, because I have no idea what I said. So okay, let's just continue reading. Revolutionary. Whew. The exile penalty is partially alleviated. It's amazing how much more alive I feel now that I'm in a story, even if it's a hidden scenario rather than the main one. This space is temporarily shut down. You cannot escape from the bar. No citizen can stand up to the executioner. Well, good thing that Dokja technically is not a citizen of this place, right? His special skill execution disregards all his opponent's defenses and delivers a death blow. The execution will now be carried out. Dodge, you fool! No matter how strong the citizen, they can't block the executioner's scythe in this scenario. This is 100% building up, but Dokja is in fact not a citizen, so this doesn't apply to him. But... Huh? Sorry, I'm not a citizen. You're not part of the main scenario. This one was a bit predictable. You are not a citizen. You are an exile. You are not affected by the scenario's execution effect. Execution's deadly effect is neutralized. I told you, I'm the revolutionary. He endured the executioner's blow! Are you really the revolutionary? Your contribution to the scenario increases. You insolent! Don't mess with me. I know you're only strong at night. What? Once this night's over, you're dead. Because I'm going to kill you. Fake Revolutionary Part 1. Okay, now we're jumping over to another scene where we see the nobles, probably. Oh yeah, our hyena guy is very, very nervous because he met Dokja and thinks like Dokja is a noble. Demon Count Siluk. Demon Count Han. I have an important message for the Duke. Tell me, I will pass it on to him. I'm afraid I can't do this. The Duke is currently in an emergency meeting with the Gilobad envoy. When will it end? I don't know. Darn, if I tell him he'll take the credit for sure. I don't like him, but it won't be wise to cross him. He may be a coward just like me, but he has a connection to the 73rd Demon King, the god of wrath and lust. Is that the one that was mentioned as well? Was that the one that mentioned with Dokja's co-worker? Is that the same Demon King? Because for some reason I remember wrath and lust, but I'm not entirely sure if I'm remembering correctly. Yep, okay. It's fine. It's not urgent, so I can just wait. Keep wondering, you jerk. I'm not sure about it anyways. If a report I came across a demon noble assumed to be a Marquis of Gilobad, it may not seem like a big deal. Yes, Asmodeus. Is the Marquis of Gilobad inside as well? He is. I suppose he came straight here then. Well, it is an important matter. So it's just as I thought. There's no way the Gilobad envoy brought two Marquises. My report is worth giving after all. That means it's very likely that guy posing to be a demon noble isn't actually a Marquis of Gilobad. But what do you think he is, little hyena boy? What do you think he might be? Are you assuming that he might be something worse? Are you assuming that he's just a fake noble as a human? Or... So yeah, Dogja is managing to deal with the attacks of that person. But it seems like they're... At night, it seems like they're somewhat even. At day, Dogja will probably dominate, but at night they seem to be even. I can't protect everyone, so get outside! I choose bookmark number 4, Lisaon Isparang. Ah, we remember Wolf Boy. The Way of the Wind level 10 plus 1 has been activated. Swing, swing. Ooh, he managed to cut through it. Do they bleed? Or are they hollow? Your attack has no effect against your opponent. No one can kill the executioner before night ends. Darn. Looks like attacks are useless after all. Too bad the Transcendent Jungyok isn't here. But there's no one here anyways. Ugh. Not Hui Wonjong, the Judge of Evil. Not Hyunsung Lee, the Steel Blade. Not Jihe Lee, the Naval Commander. Not even my beloved kiddos, Gil Yong Lee or Yu Sung Shin are here. Not even my beloved kiddos! How cute! How adorable! Calling them his beloved kiddos. No, that's just cutesy. Damn, I really like how Dogja, like, how he stands to his children is, like, very, very adorable. Okay. As for Su Young Han, well, if she was here, even if she was here, we're here, she probably wouldn't help. Your right arm shines with the light of the Sword Master. Huh? Why is that happening? Is the Sword Master the guy from Peaceland? Or why is his arm shining like that? Ching, 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 ching. Your attack has no effect against your opponent. I didn't expect the story fragments to display this kind of strength. Oh, is it... Did he pick up because he was rebuilding himself? It's one of the fable he absorbed with the Lamarck skill. Yeah. Because he rebuilt himself, he absorbed different abilities. And one of them seems to be that his right arm now is the arm of a swordmaster. Then again, it only tore his clothes because the attack didn't work. Your incarnation is unstable from using an incomplete story. Your stories may be in danger if you continue fighting excessively. Drat, I'm feeling chilly again. I'd better avoid him as much as possible and buy some time. Until his godforsaken night comes to an end. Damn, the Executioner looks so freaking cool. Like, I really like the design of the Executioner. And I'm still yet to fully understand the whole plotline of Executioner and Revolutionary. But it seems just like the nobles with the Executioner are trying to stay in power, trying to be the person in control and everything, every night, like every 3 nights, executing somebody, trying to get rid of that revolutionary. But the civilians, the citizen and the revolutionary are trying to overthrow the nobles and like bring, not like really bring a democracy, but like create a world where the civilians live a better life and are not like slaved away by the nobles. I feel like that's kind of what the scenario is about, like the revolutionary trying to free the citizen and give them a better life. Did it always say sing and song? For some reason I don't remember seeing the name sing and song. Yeah, pretty much. I've never seen the word dread ever before. Godforsaken night comes to an end. Dread! Dread! I feel like they're trying to censor damn it again or something. Okay, what do we have our guy? There it is. I just discovered a story that I cannot share. It's about plot development, so shocking to readers that the author Sing and Song. So Sing and Song is the author. I thought the author was named something else. Had to revise it hours after the chapter was released. So back in chapter 150 in the manhwa, 140 novel, there were some incarnations that joined from outside the dome. One of the prophets out of the soul dome spread the rumor that killed your sperm. A living organism in the first scenario gave coins. And quote from chapter 16 of the novel, the default fits here. There weren't any minors in the constellations, right? I hoped so. It was because it was now adult broadcasting time. Anyway, this caused a lot of powerful incarnations to join the scenarios. Seong also made a contract with the Abyssal Black Flame Dragon to recruit these powerful incarnations. I have no idea why Sing and Song decided to use sperm instead of insect eggs, but the fact that they didn't change it to insects meant that they were so embarrassed they scrapped the entire idea of my favorite theory, which is that sperm was so vital to the subplot that anything else wouldn't make sense. I can't imagine what all those poor constellations felt, especially Korean constellations who watched their descendants do this crap. Addendum. Something to note that the strongest sacrifice scenario was created because the incarnations became too strong. It still makes sense now, but SNS definitely wrote it with this subplot in mind. Also, Seung is the first disciple, leader of the prophets, so I wouldn't be surprised if her 5-2 self came up with this plan. SNS was cooking something fierce when writing this. I just realized that the reason Dog Jedi was supposed to be because a lot of people did it. I have no idea what... They originally called it Sing a Song, I think. With no N, but maybe I'm hallucinating. I'm really not sure. I have no idea what I just read. What the fuck did I just read? Translated comment from the OG chapter I found online. Content before revision that is not mentioned after revision. The reason why the incarnation are strong during the mission and external profit spread strategy. Earn a lot of points by killing your own sperm. Han Soo-young had signed a contract with the Black Flame Dragon and is collecting the above incarnations. If this becomes controversial, it will probably be about collecting insects and killing them. This is a story about how to end how the up-and-coming Jerkers Alliance was destroyed as soon as they came. What? The offer is actually a couple, so Sing and Song. Okay, so that basically one person is sing, the other song, if you want to call it like that. So you can masturbate and kill your sperm, and that would you can farm coins like that. I don't like that. Novel chapter 199 excerpts. This was a stepping stone for me to enter the scenario. The hidden scenario self-proclaimed revolutionary has been acquired. It was the first time that a scenario acquisition was so welcome. It might be a hidden scenario and not a main scenario, but it was sufficient for the moment. The exile penalty is slightly alleviated. There was a warmth in every breath that I let out. There was a mild aura around my body, and the chill was gone. Selecting the fourth bookmark, Laijaon Isparang. The exclusive skill Way of the Wind level 10+1 is activated. It would be easier to win if I used the fifth bookmark, Kyrgios, but winning this fight wasn't my goal in the first place. No, I couldn't win. This was the essence of the Way of the Wind that had reached its limit. It was a force that controlled all acceleration in the space. You are slow like a slug. The scythe of the angry executioner started to randomly move through the air. Normally, I wouldn't be hit by such attacks. However, one scythe accidentally entered the range. Ick! The moment the unexpected blow was about to strike me in the sides, my right arm suddenly twisted into a strange shape and I blocked it. The talent of the sword master that sits in your right arm is shining. I was surprised as well. I didn't think the fragments of the story worked in this way. The use of the incompleted story has made your body status unstable. Han Soo-young, well, she wouldn't have helped if she was here. Hehe, the comment about Han Soo-young was included just because it's so funny, and even funnier if you are a novel reader. Reliable as always. Han Soo-young wouldn't be helpful here. It's just Han Soo-young. Farming sperms was not something I expect to hear from ORV. Holy shit, I don't want to think about that concept. That concept hurts my soul. That concept hurts my soul indeed. Okay, but overall, good chapter, right? I have to say, it continues to not disappoint. This one was for sure stronger than last week's chapter. Where were we here? Last sheep was like this. I did enjoy it more than this. I did enjoy more than this. So I'm going to give it something like this one. We continue to develop. We continue to learn more about the world. Dogsha is going to keep this story up. Keep on just surviving until the day comes, and then he's going to defeat the executioner. That's 100% going to be the case. It's going to happen. Alright, I got to go now, bye. Enjoy your day, or whatever you're doing now at this point. I hope you can achieve your dreams. Okay. Developments are nice. Really looking forward to future developments and stuff. But let me talk about something that it's the second part that I had in the notes, in the chapter title, in the stream title. In fact, you guys see that the stream is titled whatever content question. It's just getting better and better. This was one of my faves. I get that. So I was wondering. I know it's still going to take some time for me, but with the ORV TTRPG going on here, let me move this away. As you can see, this is going swimmingly. I haven't worked on this for some time again, but it continues to improve and get longer and longer and longer. I still need to do a lot of updates. Like, let's say I go into the let's go into the D&D magic items. You can only see the price here, really, because technically these items are like in D&D. But the problem, if we, like, for example, bring out the arm blade from D&D, if you look at the arm blade from D&D, this item is a magic weapon that attaches to your arm, becomes inseparable when you are tuned to it, blah 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 blah. As a bonus action, you can retract the arm blade into your forearm and extend it from there. While it's extended, you can use the weapon as if you were holding it, and you can use the other hand for the purpose. So basically, it's just like a kind of weapon. One-handed melee weapon. I don't even know what is the arm blades. Arm blades. No, I actually chose that. Arm blade weapon stats. Arm blade stats. Is there like a specific stat or a one-handed stat? Whatever you choose. So it can be a lot of things. It can be any one-handed melee weapons. So if you look at weapons from D&D, you would just need to look at one-handed melee weapons, and those could be a lot of things. It could be a longsword even. It could even be a longsword. But considering that this is I totally need to adjust those prices, because this is so this would technically be a C grade weapon that is combined together with your arm so that you can't get disarmed. And then if you, it would be, instead of like a normal longsword, which is 1d8, it would be 4d8. But if we now look at a longsword, for example, a longsword costs you 100 coins as an F grade weapon. But if you upgrade it to E rank, it would be 1000. If you upgrade it to D rank, it would be 5000. And if you upgraded it to C rank, you would upgrade it, it would cost you 10,000 coins. I think if I calculate it correct right now. And so a normal longsword weapon at C grade would cost 10,000. But for some reason I have this arm blade as only 565 coins. So this can't be correct. I kind of need to adjust all these magic items to cost more than 10,000. So, like, I don't know. I kind of need to add a 0 at the back and a 1 in the front. So that's like 15,650 or something like that. I probably need to change it like that, because otherwise it's not going to make sense from price wise as well. But that's not mainly what I'm talking about. This is just like an example of things that I'm working on. And as you can see, there's many things. For example, here in the bestiary, there's nothing there yet, because we haven't yet started working on the monsters. Same as we haven't worked on the alchemy, crafting, and cooking aspects of this game yet. But we have worked on a lot of abilities here. Like, I need to go over all of the item prices again. Also, customization like feats, those things are basically just for starters or special moments. And I feel like they are not going to be that important, because the main aspect you're going to do is not feats or starting feats. The main aspect of your character customization is basically your personal skills, which are here. The list of personal skills. I have not have done yet any personal attributes into this thing here. Also, I have not added any constellations that I have created yet. I only have like the template version of myself as Pyro, Prima, Flameborn from Passion as the modifier, Nebula, VTuber, Stigmata known as Original Flame. Original Flame. While using this stigma, all of your attacks will have the fire property on top of its regular damage type. Cost 2 spell points and 2 hit points. Which just gives you the fire property. It just gives you the fire property for, you just need to activate it once, and then it's activated until, like, the combat is over. And you have fire property on top of your, like, normal slashing thing, so to overcome, like, resistances or deal with vulnerabilities, something like that. That's, like, the idea of and constellation. I'm thinking about if I should add the constellation that I did on here, but if I do that, I cannot send out this document. I need to rework a lot of this as well. Like the Elaine Forest essence costing 500 coins makes sense, but technically a C grade item should be more something like 15,000 coins, but that's way too much because you guys don't have that much. So I feel like these items are going to stay like this, like when I create more stuff, but I feel like most of the other items here are going to be made more expensive. Like if you can see that this is the B grade weapon costing 2,000 coins. It can't be like that, considering that some C grade normal weapons already cost 10,000 coins. So I need to completely look at this again. I made those numbers lower and lower and lower so that you can buy them technically, but it also needs to make sense. So either I make everything more expensive again, or I need to rethink the scaling for the weapons here. So if I pull out this thing here so that I can scroll there. Where's the weapons? Nope. Nope. That's feet. Here. I would need to make it so considering that the C grade items, let's say look at the C grade items. The C grade items, the cheapest C grade item is, they still need to be more expensive. Considering that like the cheapest C grade item I can see here starts with 3 of like 300 tokens, coins, whatever the cuddly Strixhaven mascot is technically. I might need to rename that as well. You're gonna just fight of fear. I can help you against frightened condition. Okay. Considering their effects and everything, they need to be more expensive. They probably all need to be at least 4 digits of like thousands. But that needs to be thought about, because if you... I just need to think. Okay. If you buy a club, it's 10 coins for 1d4. It's 100 coins for 2d4. It's 500 coins for 3d4. And it's 1,000 coins for 1d4. So I think these here need to be made more expensive. That's what I'm getting from this talk about here. This needs to be more expensive. But still, this is not the main thing I want to talk about with you. As you can see, I have things here, and I'm thinking about wanting to share it with you. Because I have I basically have character creation already finished. I have the different backgrounds, which are replacing races, and I have the game changes here, so that instead of classes, we have basically you create your own character with the personal ability, personal attribute, and just going from there. Because your character can be whatever you want to be in this kind of thing. Then the idea of combat, recovery, and so on. So the thing that I want to talk about is that as I'm thinking about doing a story of talking about what test stories of like playing the system by myself and streaming it or making it in video form. I was thinking that maybe we could do some streams in the future where we're going to create like 3 to 4 characters together as the protagonists of the disaster plotline. And so either I'm going to hand over the document to you guys as it is right now, because those stats and things are not going to change. The The weapon prices are probably going to change. Not the normal weapons, only probably magic weapons. Most of those are going to be adjusted. I need to do on that. But I basically was thinking giving it to you so that you can form ideas already, so that we can talk about potential characters and things that we could do with the characters in a future stream when we do character creation. Because we have the different backgrounds here of... let me scroll up so I can just say it here. We have the different backgrounds of... artist, athlete, college student, engineer, journalist, office worker, soldier, and traveler. All of those give you different personal skills. They give you a couple of different personal skills, and your personal attribute is something you come up with by yourself. And then you talk to the dungeon master, game master, basically saying like, so my personal attribute is connected to your story, your own character, your past, your backstory, what your character is. While the background already makes up a chunk of that, the personal attributes, it fills in another hole. So depending on you saying like, oh yeah, I'm an engineer, so I have these kind of things, but basically my personal attribute is still that I'm a gamer. Like, you can be both. You can still be both. And gamer, for example, is a personal attribute that already has been created, so it's already like set in stone what the abilities from gamer would be. But if you have like an idea for a personal attribute and want to have something, then basically you say like, oh, I want to be this and that. And then it's just like between us, like going back and forth to making sure that we create that personal attribute so that we can create a personal attribute list for the future. You would get artists. We can look at artists, for example, here, Eileen. I've not written anything in artists, artist facts. So an artist would start out with like 6+ constitution modifier health, and hit dice increases by, hit dice is 1d6, but that is not that important. So basically you start out with 6 plus whatever, probably not that much, so you start out with 6 health. From tools, you can choose 2 abilities, which are either calligrapher supplies, painter supplies, potter tools, stone carver's tools, or 2 music or like a musical instrument. Because an artist is not only, in this case, an artist is not only like art in the sense of like painting or something, but also other things. And skills is like D&D, I just yoinked them from there. We don't need to rework things that work fine. You can choose 2 from sleight of hand, arcana, history, nature, religion, insight, perception, deception, and performance. Because all of those things are kind of connected to being an artist. Like arcana, you could even say like drawing magic circles and stuff. Even though magic didn't exist in our world, it's still kind of connected to being an artist. Then ability scores is always just like you increase whatever ability score you want by 1. And then when you go to sub thing, it's going to change something else. Also, alignment is, I'm probably going to just delete that line because alignment is stupid, and alignment is something you decide by yourself and not just like set yourself into a box. Movement speed is just 30 feet. I'm thinking of maybe renaming this from 30 feet to something like 6 meters, because I like meters more than feet. And then you have this one ability, Experienced Artist. You have honed your proficiency with particular skills, granting you the following benefits. You gain proficiency in 1 extra skill of your choice. Choose 1 skill in which you already have proficiency. You gain expertise with that skill, which means your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make with it. This skill you choose must be one that isn't already benefiting from a feature such as expertise that doubles your proficiency bonus. So basically, an experienced artist is just like, oh yeah, you're better at doing what you already do. And then the subcategories for artists are basically are 3 different ones. It's painter, sculptor, and singer. And they give you, each of those gives you 2 more abilities and also stat increase. Painter gives you dexterity, sculptor gives you strength, and singer gives you charisma. Makes sense, right? Checks out. A painter skill is basically, after being a painter for a long time, like everything called painter skill, sculptor skill, singer skill is basically personal skills. So it basically says like, because you are dead, you have acquired some personal skills. And that means you can choose from a certain set of personal skills. For the painter, it would be drawing, color theory, creativity, patience, artistic vision, and art knowledge. And the painter also has dark vision, because they spend a lot of time in the dark, because they're shut in goblins or something like that. Each of them has their own kind of thing like that. And singer, for example, is a bit more special. Like after being a singer for a while, you can improvise a show at the drop of your hat. As a bonus action, you can use either 1/4 of your HP or use an inspiration or an use of inspiration to gain +10 on your next charisma performance check. It's basically checking. It's basically like, oh, you can use your stamina, which is your HP, to do better at performance because you are literally a performer. You're a singer. It just checks out. And this is like for everyone, like here with the athlete being like, oh, you can be like from football, track and field, but also like from chess or something like that. The college student can be in different things like business administration, computer science, or psychology. For example, I think Dogja would be, there's a thing called office worker. Dogja would, I specifically made this for Dogja because Dogja is an office worker, and then Dogja would apply to the quality assurance subcategory because that's what Dogja was. Dogja was a QA assurance guy. Like, he made sure that the games and that his company were doing good. So basically, office worker quality assurance is what Dogja was. And I like that basically that means he has the ability of grovel, cower, and beg. Because this fits to Dogja. As an action on your turn, you can cower pathetically to distract nearby foes. Until the end of your next turn, your allies gain advantage on attack rolls against enemies within 10 feet of that can see you. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. I just think it's funny. But then we come to other things. This year, classes don't exist anymore because it's different. It's you basically have personal skills, attributes, and whatnot. Combat is also entirely different. That basically AC doesn't exist anymore. It also got entirely reworked. Recovery is very different, so that you don't recover health on short rests. You only what is it here? All the benefits of a short rest have been moved to a long rest, and the full recovery you would normally get from a long rest will only be available to you when you buy a specific item. So basically, short rests are primarily useless. Except if things state they recover after a short rest. But basically, if you want to recover like hit dice in D&D, you have to take a long rest. But if you want to have like a full recovery, that normally would be in a long rest in D&D, you can't do that because this is like a kind of survival game. Instead of for that, you would need to have an Elaine Essence, which you can buy from the shop for 500 coins. It's specifically not made too expensive so that it will not be difficult to obtain in the long run, but it's still going to be somewhat hard in the beginning. Harvesting and crafting is going to be a big problem in the future. So basically, it's harvesting, but that's going to be more explained in the future. The important part here is when we come to stats. The prices here also are completely not correct. The prices don't matter. This is basically just so that I have the DC and the manufacturing time. Like those two numbers, time and DC, those are what important. Basically, the tool, time, and DC are what is important. Material cost and item value are not correct, but I can filter them out. Enchanting is also another mechanic. Structures are a mechanic so that you can basically get like more benefits, which are either like extra ability score points, basically being able to recover more health or gaining extra hit points. Armor also works different as in D&D. Normally you only have like basically one piece of armor, but in this one you have like armor separated into 7 categories. You have helmet, chest, arm, hand, leg, feet, and you can basically put 3 different accessories on you. This sounds hella more complicated than it is, but it basically is full game mechanics. So the important part here is with stats. Basically, when you start out, where does it say here? Most incarnations start the scenarios with stats ranging anywhere from level 1 to level 10. If an incarnation begins stats surpassing a total of 25, that is considered impressive. There's some explanations where I need to check out that one thing that I had. I think it's on this line here. modifier. Nope, it's in this one. Basically, the base stats that every character has are 5. Character creation is point-buy system, if that says something to you. So you have to think. I can actually show that. If you look at it like this, basically you have 15 points to distribute. You have 15 points to distribute, and your base points are 5 in everything. So you can decide how to distribute the 15 between the 5s. And basically, like, 5 equals level 1 in a stat, and so it goes on. But considering it's D&D, that means because you start out with 5, that's basically like a -3 modifier. And I feel like that's realistic, because in the human world, people are not that powerful. We are not like superhumans like in D&D. D&D, like, they are in medieval times, they are stronger, those characters. So them being stronger makes sense. But the characters in this game would be normal humans. So this is an example I distributed once, like, okay, this is like a Dex Constitution based character. So they put 5 points in there each, so that they have like 10 in each of them. Which at least makes them neutral, because 10 is neutral, but in the other things they are like worse. But then you also get like the 3 extra points from yours, from your background, which improve you more. So looking at this, like, the character here has a total of, like, looking at those stats, but then you have like 3 more. That's how we usually do stats in D&D as well. It's pretty fair. So let's say this is like the character. Oops. Like, the character is 6, 10, 10, 6, 6, 7. But if you have like some class that gives you more instead as well, let's say you get 3 more dexterity, so you would be at 13 dexterity. But then that's like with only considering like your background and the stat distribution. But you also have the ability to, like, from your personal attribute, you could get extra stats. From other personal skills, you can get extra stats. And you can always just use coins to upgrade in the future. That's basically how the system is working. Strength is 1 level in strength equals 1 in stat increase in strength. Dexterity is the same. Constitution means, like, 1 level in constitution equals to an increase of your constitution stat by 1. But also, like, every point in constitution increases your HP by 2. Every 10 levels in Constitution, you get to roll another hit dice for you to increase your HP, just for an extra boost. So if your background was like something with 1d6, that would mean that at level 10 you roll 2d6 to just put that 2d6 on top of your health already. Those increases are not as massive, considering, like, if you are at level 10, like from level 1 to level 10, that already means that you have like 20 extra health, and then you can potentially get like 12 extra. 12 extra on 20 is not bad, but it's also like not super insane. Then you have intelligence, which just increases, wisdom and charisma as well. And then this is like the new stat that is not there in D&D, magic power. This is basically to determine how much spell points, mana, or whatever you want to call it, you have it. Every level in magic power equals 1 spell point. And spell points are required to use any form of magic or also stigma. So as you saw with the Pyro stigma earlier, the Pyro stigma costs 2 HP and 2 magic and 2 spell points. So why it costs both HP and spell points was, for me, the idea that using a stigma is somewhat of like using magic, so it costs you spell points. But it also is like exhausting on the body. So it also costs you HP, because HP is like your physical stamina. So every stigma costs like as well something from your magical stamina, but something from your physical stamina. And then you can use that stigma. That's the idea. And here you can also see how much it costs to basically buy a level up for every level. From level 1 to 10 it's 300, 400, blah blah blah, so on. And 300 is what I set out as the maximum level of like that you can achieve as a character in this thing, and after that you need to basically gain stories to get stronger. So if you start out with 500 points, 5 and something, and then you gain 300 more, that basically means you would be here with 305, which would mean you have a modifier of 145. So that would mean if you attack with something, you would deal the damage of the weapon plus 145 just from your modifier. So considering that, that also means I probably need to rework some damages, because if we look at some, let's look at Blaine items. We look at some of the Blaine items, for example. We can take the. Let's take a look at. Doesn't he have any weapons? Or those are items versus weapons. If we look, for example, at an SS grade item here stands at 8d6 damage, which is the idea I had. So like every level the dice gets increased by once, but 8d6 would be basically 40. So considering it's an SS grade item that deals 8d6 damage, which is up to 40, and then you have plus 149, that would kind of make like the damage dice useless, and you only care about your modifier. So there are also ways to increase the damage from your weapon, but those increases depend on certain personal attributes. I'm just blasting those informations at you. For example, let's look at, for example, something like weapons training. Weapons training. This still grants you proficiency in simple weapons, and every level gives you +1 to hit with them. Weapons training is something that gives you +2 hits. So the modifier already gives you something, but then something like weapons training also gives you something on top of that. But if we have something like, I think I have some that's called knife training or something like that. Kinematics, knife, carving, sculpting training. Now I think I have them in the. I still have them in the. Still have them in this thing here. Was it in personal? Was it in personal skills too? Yeah, it was something in here. Knife fighting, basically. The skill grants you proficiency in knives, and every level gives you +1 to hit with them. I'm probably going to rework that so that weapons training is the 2 hits, and something like knife fighting is like it increases your damage. It increases your damage dice or something like that. But that's still like a lot of. As you can see, there's still a lot of work in progress. But you can technically we can already create characters because we have the backgrounds, we have the stat distribution, and we have the concept of how to create personal attributes. And choosing a constellation is also, while in a story it would be like it depends on who you interest, but for these characters, these 4 characters that we will create, it would basically be a thing of we can just choose constellations we want because this is like a story that we write. And as I said again here, the idea is basically that in some sort of future stream, we're going to sit down together, create like the 4 different characters, so that then I can tell the story of them turning into disasters, or maybe failing and not turning into disasters, because that's up to how the system works out. And we just have to see if that works. But I would love to work out that idea, and I'm probably going to do that stream. It would be great if people would turn in for that, so that we can basically work on that and have fun together. But things that I were planning to do are making the weapons more expensive again. The magic weapons. Like every weapon that is not a standard weapon needs to be made more expensive, I think. And I also need to change some of the personal attributes and personal skills so that they adjust the damage of weapons. So like, if you have knife fighting, for example, if you have knife fighting, it gives you proficiency, and it makes you add proficiency. And maybe it doesn't increase something like that as all the time, but then like every 5 levels or maybe every 10 levels, it also increases your damage die. Like if you're using a dagger, a normal 1d4 dagger, but you have knife fighting level 10, or like advanced from like normal knife fighting to like advanced knife fighting, that means like it increases it doubles like your damage die, maybe something like that. That could work. But those are still just ideas. We're going to work this through. this is like the Giga project of Pyro Prima, and this is my passion project as well, because this is the one thing that I want to achieve. But that's enough yapping, I think. That's enough yapping about that content question and content idea. So if you are up for this character creation stream together, tell me in the comments, tell me in the stream, tell me in the Discord, tell me wherever you are, because I'm probably still going to do it on stream, even if you don't want to. The question is like if you're going to participate, or if that's not even something you are interested in. Yeah, that's about it. So, to anyone here, thank you for spending your time with me. Thank you for letting me yap on and on about my TTRPG that I'm still working on. As you can see, this is already 69 pages, and if I add like all the different descriptions for the weapons and the different constellations and whatnot, this thing is going to be hundreds of pages long, and most of those pages are just going to be like stuff about the weapons. So we have to think about that. But yeah, so all that to be said from me for now is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. See you in the next stream, in the Discord, or wherever you are going to be. Goodbye!